All right, let's talk about some behind the neck variations that you can continue to use in your program if you are trying to continue Olympic weightlifting during your pregnancy. I love using behind the neck variations to allow women as they get through their pregnancy, if they're not experiencing any type of pelvic girdle pain, to continue getting into overhead squat variations. Important things that we can manipulate is the amount of impact, the load on the bar, and the tempo on the bar. An important thing to consider as you go through your pregnancy is that your weight is constantly shifting, especially towards the end of your second trimester and into your third trimester. The biggest thing that is happening to you, and you're gonna feel big, is that your baby is growing at an amazing rate. And so your balance is constantly shifting. By manipulating tempo in things like the overhead squat, we can get you to continue to hone in those patterns while not making you feel so unstable. What we're gonna go through is we have different types of snatch balance variations where we can manipulate the amount of impact going through the pelvic floor. We have overhead squat variations. So we have our regular speed overhead squat, but we can also start adding things like tempo by slowing down the concentric and eccentric of the movement. We can start adding pauses in different positions where you may feel a little bit more off balance to make sure that you're reestablishing some of that equilibrium. And then we can do some overhead strengthening like push presses and things of that nature in a behind the neck snatch grip variation. Okay, in this video, we're gonna go from low impact to higher impact exercises and variations that are going to reinforce the motor control and mechanic of the snatch and also allow you to build your overhead stability for the catch of the snatch as you are returning to these movements. So starting with lowest impact options, this is something that I get a lot of my female clients to do all the way up until they deliver if they're feeling good in their pregnancy. And one of the first movements that I get a female to get back to postpartum. Keomi's gonna be doing a push press behind the neck, snatch grip, bending at the knees, pressing up overhead, locking out the elbows fast, and bringing it back behind the neck. A way that you can add a bit of complexity and stability is by doing a 2 to 3 second hold at the lockout. Same movement, push press, but she's gonna hold 2, 3, then come back down. This is a great way to train your shoulders, upper back, those stabilizer muscles that need to make sure that they are strong in the catch of the snatch. Next, we're gonna go into the overhead squat movements. She's gonna press the bar up overhead and perform an overhead squat. On the way down, she's breathing in, breathing out as she stands up until her body is ready to do a Valsalva and hold her breath. Ways that we can start manipulating this with lower loads to still make you feel like you're getting a good workout, but we're starting to re-hone in that balance and motor control, is to turn this into a tempo overhead squat variation. She's gonna press the bar up overhead, take it 3 seconds on the way down, 3 seconds on the way up. Good. If you're still working on the exhale, breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. Another way that we can really start to build that strength is by doing a paused variation of the overhead squat. Keomi's gonna press the bar up overhead. She's gonna take it down into the hole, hold for 2 seconds, and bring that bar back up. All of these ways are very low impact variations to start building that overhead strength. Now to start going into that speed component, we're gonna start low impact with the snatch balance. We're gonna use a no feet variation. So she's gonna dip and drive under, starting with her feet in that overhead squat position and bringing it back down. You do one more time. Beautiful. Good. That is our lowest impact variation. To add a bit more impact to the pelvic floor, she's gonna go from her power position and do a full feet variation of this movement. Good, you can hear that impact on the ground. Now, a harder variation, again, you're not going to be able to use a ton of load with this, is going into a tall overhead or snatch balance. So what she's doing is she's starting on her toes. She's getting rid of any of that dip drive momentum, and she's going to just drive into the bottom of the snatch balance. Beautiful. Wonderful. So you're going to start probably at the lower end of that continuum, or towards the end of your pregnancy, you're going to end up at that low impact continuum. And then as your body is ready, you can go into higher impact, higher load, higher range of motion variation.